Oh yeah, I actually forgot we're looking for a sponsor.
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, sweating my ruddy gonads off in my office. It's a hot day over here in the United Kingdom, and the studio lights are on me, making me shine in more ways than one. So welcome back to Chelsea News. We're going to cite an article from The Athletic from Adam Crafton, talking about what's happening with Chelsea's sponsor. What happened to Infinite Athlete, which Chelsea seemingly agreed a deal for? Well, we're going to read an article from Crafton today, so thanks for joining me, you lovely lot. I appreciate your attendance here on the channel and your interactions. You're all welcome here, of course. It's a friendly place. Right, Crafton and Joey Durso writes this. Chelsea executives hosted representatives from Saudi state airline Riyadh Air, which pitched a potential front of shirt sponsorship deal as the club continue talks with a number of companies to grow their commercial revenue. Chelsea trying to make all that money. Riyadh Air, which already sponsors Atletico Madrid, oh that's interesting, is owned by Saudi's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, who are of course the majority owner of Newcastle United. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced the formation of the new airline in March, which is still not flown a plane and does not plan to until 2025. Is that fishy, or is that just perhaps normal process of a new airline? I don't know. Chelsea officials, including executive Chris Jurasek, who of course is the new guy we brought on from Clear Lake, to make Chelsea loads more money. I spoke about the Chelsea owners today on another video about, is Todd Boehly fixing or breaking Chelsea, where I go into like stuff about them, spending money, wanting to make more money. Do feel free to go watch that video. But they brought in their own executive businessman dem in Chris Jurasek to essentially generate Chelsea more revenue. So Chris Jurasek hosted a Riyadh Air delegation at Stamford Bridge for Saturday's 1-0 defeat for Nottingham Forest. There you go. That's not a good look, is it? Like when you brought the big Saudi money men in and you're trying to get a little bit of that sweet, sweet pie, baby, and you are hosting Nottingham Forest at home. Like, yeah, don't worry about this lot. We'll slap this lot. You want to see goals? We're gonna score some goals for you here today, and let's get the deal over the line. And yeah, we lose 1-0. Hopefully that hasn't affected negotiations. I'll speak about how do we feel about the PIF funneling money to Chelsea. This is just, football's just going in incredible directions at the moment. The club then pitched the airline about their multi-year sponsorship deal for the men's and women's teams. So basically the front of shirt for both the main first teams. Another contender for the front of shirt sponsor, oh, here we bloody go, is betting website Cayenne Sports, which announced a deal with Nottingham Forest last week. So they're the front of shirt sponsor for Forest. God, why are we like intrinsically linked with Forest in this story? Cayenne Sports appears to target customers in China, where gambling is illegal. Oh, that sounds like a good market. That sounds like a good business model. Let's try and target where it's illegal, and accesses the UK market via a white label agreement with a company on the Isle of Man. Sounds very fishy to me. It's unclear what country Cayenne is based in, or who the owners are, which is extremely unusual for a sponsorship deal of this prominence. Yes. Off the bat, I'm going to sort of nail my colours there and say, don't like that. Don't like the look of that. A, because it's a betting company, and we have spoken about this at length on different videos. I do not want a betting company at the front of shirt sponsor. They were going to have stake.com, but the Chelsea fans seemingly waved that away, and the Chelsea supporters trust. So you wouldn't think this deal would go over the line either. Chelsea are reassured, however, by the fact Cayenne have existing deals with Real Madrid, Crystal Palace, and Inter Milan. Okay. While the betting firm already has a partnership deal with Chelsea and was displayed on billboards at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. Look, all of Premier League clubs have betting sponsor partners. They just all do. But to have one front of shirt sponsor, I think for me personally, that's Yeah, that's too far, basically. The club have previously had a deal with Asian gambling website Leu Sports, which The Athletic revealed was fronted by non-existent employees and called off a potential front-of-shirt sponsored deal with gambling website Stake. This is what I said, and after a fan-led backlash. So it makes you think, after Stake, that they're not going to try and get front-of-shirt from another gambling company. Unless they're just getting desperate now, because we're in September and they don't have a deal, which is mental. Premier League clubs voted to ban all gambling firms, of course, from 2026 onwards. But 8 of the 20 top flight teams have such agreements for the season. So nearly half the league have gambling websites on their shirt, knowing that they won't be able to do this in 3 years' time. So maybe signing relatively short-term deals or whatever. Chelsea's blue shirts have been blank so far this season as the club to attempt to replace the mobile network Free. There has been negotiations with Infinite Athlete, the operating system for sports, but the deal is awaiting approval from the Premier League. Yeah, this is interesting. And here we go. Infinite Athlete is a recently formed company that came together with Tempus Ex Machina, a technology that a company signed a 7-year partnership with Chelsea in April, acquired Biocore, which is essentially the data analysis company, meaning Tempus now go under the name Infinite Athlete. So they've just sort of reinvented themselves. The investment fund Silver Lake, which owns 18% of City Football Group, of course, are the ownership group own Manchester City, is also an investor in Infinite Athlete, but Chelsea do not consider this, or the fact Riyadh Air is owned by the majority shareholder of Newcastle to be a deterrent. We need to be a little bit lucid here to the situation. I understand what Adam Crafton's doing about trying to highlight how it's intrinsically linked or the interwoven things, but there is a sort of level, like an inescapable level of this at high level business. Like, of course, Gary Neville was very upset about Chelsea selling players to Saudi because Claylake Capital, who of course are the majority owners of Chelsea and Blueco, they had some sort of dealings with them, but ultimately they were like, it was highlighted by business experts. Yeah, there's absolutely no issues here, and what you're seeing is normal at high-end, billionaire business, these interactions. So I think there's probably a little bit of touch of that here as well, especially with the PIF and the guys who own Citigroup having fingers in high value pies. Fingers in high value pies that will interlock, in some ways. And there is the top of the finances. It's cynical. It's unpleasant. It's unsavory. But as you get closer to the top of money, there is more interactions than you'd think. As there's less and less volume of people and entities, as the money gets more and more and more, you'll be you'd be surprised maybe how much they're interwoven. The prospective front of shirt deal with Infinite Athlete is only expected for the remainder of this season. Oh, that's interesting, as the company seeks to target European sports marketing following its launch. Chelsea's existing partnership with Tempus saw them install Match View X technology on the club's app, giving the fans access to essentially look at data and stuff. Chelsea are scouring the market for long-term deals that would kick in from the start of next season. So Riyadh Air, which is of course the Saudi airline, and Kayon Sports, which I do not like the sound of at all, are just 2 of the companies that held meetings with the club. Chelsea sources who wish to remain anonymous to defend their confidential nature said conversations are ongoing with others, including another major technology company in the US, and stressed that no deal with either Saudi airline or Kayon is imminent. The club hosts prospective partners reasonably often at the games, and this does not mean a deal will be concluded. For example, Chelsea have hosted an insurance company with Allianz, but a deal did not come with fruition. Yeah, we all kind of like the idea of Allianz, but they offered very little money. This sounds like pretty due diligence. Chelsea just hosting, they've probably got a list of like 40 companies, and they're trying to host as many as possible. So maybe we see Infinite Athlete come in to just be put on the shirt for the rest of the season. Maybe like Chelsea don't even care that much about selling it with it. It might just be more of a brand exposure thing to just get it on the shirt, so there's not a sponsorless shirt on the games. Maybe, and then they're looking for long-term alternatives here. Kayon would also be interested in starting a potential front of shirt deal this season if Infinite Athlete agreement is not finalised. However, the deal is not Premier League approval stage, and sorry, the Infinite Athlete is in pole position because it is being assessed by the Premier League. Chelsea's commercial team are focusing largely on businesses within the airline industry, because that's where all the money is, along with the insurance firms, technology groups, and financial services sector. For their long-term partnerships, club sources indicated to The Athletic that Chelsea will be seeking an overall package of up to £60 million per year. Considering, like, at the moment, we're not playing very well as a football team, that's quite ambitious, but they feel like it can be done. To include both the men's and women's teams. And this is with the club seeking to compete with the Emirates shirt deal that they have at Arsenal. That price may fluctuate based on a variety of factors, such as the length of the deal, assets included in a contract, and whether the club is competing in Europe, of course. Chelsea will not take part of any European competitions this season after failing to qualify. Earlier this year, FIFA did not proceed with a proposed agreement to visit the Saudi Tourism Board, to sponsor the Women's World Cup. Yeah, the Premier League aren't really happy with elements of Saudi. Or yeah, look, if Chelsea get a front of shirt deal with Saudi Airline, it would mean 3 of the Premier League's big 6 have a deal with a Middle Eastern state. Man City with the Etihad, Arsenal with Fly Emirates, and then it would be Chelsea. Look, geopolitical ramifications about these sponsorship deals. It's not new. It's been around for ages. It's just where the money is, isn't it? When you spend a lot of money, it's almost like the clubs themselves, the owners, are obligated to try and get these deals. Look, they're also obligated to not promote gambling on the front of shirts with kids going to buy these shirts, and that's, really, really important. But where do you draw your moral line? Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want was it Saudi media to buy Chelsea? I was really disinterested in that. Obviously, Newcastle United, Manchester City, PSG, they're constantly being looked under the microscope for their state ownership. Where the money's coming from. The Premier League prides itself on being an inclusive, institution, league, whatever you want to call it. And if you're getting financially juiced by countries where homosexuality is illegal, where there's not much human rights, where women's rights are only just coming in, and these are the things you're fighting for, taking the money from these guys is not a great look. Simply what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Still, let me know what you think. It's a big piece of information, really. There's more in the article. I don't want to read it all because it's behind a paywall. Yes, if you are interested, go check out The Athletic. Let me know what you think about the sponsors. Who do you think we're going to get? And what do you think of these hosted dinners? I'll be very keen to learn your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting. Do go check out the sister channel, Football Yannick, and I'll see you guys soon.